Hello everybody and welcome. I'm No02 and it's just me, you, this ogre, and a pestilence. I forgot something very, very important to talk about when it came to the pestilence. I talked about the damage, right? The damage. Cool. Awesome. That's great. But the atrophy also reduces the amount of the damage the target takes. So in that, that no-hope scenario that I talked about, where you're typically the hardest part of dealing with the boss is dealing with the horde first. And like you can't maneuver because the horde is pressing you in. You can't hold your ground because the boss will get on top of you. Hence pipe bombs tend to be very good for like the random breaker fights that are strung throughout all of the no-hope missions. But another thing about the pestilence though is that if we were to mag dump this ogre 3 magazines, that'd be a 90 damage reduction. Can it go all the way up to 100? Now I'm not going to demonstrate how much damage this ogre does right now. He obviously does a crap ton of damage if he were to hit us. But we would be able to tell the difference if he smacked me and it did almost no damage at all. So we got, about 2 magazines in. We'll go for 3. 2.5. No, I don't want. We need to be quick here because he might die soon. There we go. We got like 4-ish magazines into him. And did we take any damage? I'll have to check the video. 4 damage. The ogre hit me for 4 damage. We've 4 damage again, or 3. So we definitely hit him more than 100 bullets, or hit him with more than 100 bullets, I think. You're still doing some sort of minimum amount of damage. So keep that in mind. You're in that no-hope scenario. Breaker shows up. You can't change positions. He's already doing his roar. The arena's pulled in, and you're stuck. You have to fight where you are. The other 3 players can start focusing on the horde. The pestilence player can mag dump into the breaker 2 or 3 magazines. I mean, 3 magazines would be a 90% damage reduction. Not only is the breaker now taking 90 damage a second between all of the effects, from the DPS, but the breaker's damage is also borderline a non-factor now, making it far easier for your team to continue to ignore the breaker so that you can safely deal with the horde first. Once the horde has been dealt with, it's not a problem to just run around and kite the breaker. So another really important aspect to the pestilence, right? It's still not a great weapon versus the horde. Maybe it's better, versus tall boys than I might have thought. You unload 1 magazine into a tall boy off in the distance, and by the time it gets closer, your teammates can burst it down really easily because it's taken, 200, 300 points of damage over time. But for the most part, I think the pestilence is just, it is the giant slayer. It's the boss killer. Not only does it kill the boss, it also pretty much makes the boss a non-factor. When you reduce its damage down between, 2 to 3 magazines, that's 60 to 90% damage reduction. Pretty much almost nothing. We took a couple of hits from the ogre. A hit from the ogre, 4 damage, right? So I think pretty significant. I needed to make a second video just to show it off and talk about it because I think it's a really important factor to when you're deciding what guns to take. And I think at the very least, a team composition probably wants at least 1 pestilence if you find it, because it'll be literally used on every single mission to deal with the breaker or the boss or the hag. You can unload a couple of magazines in the hag and then run away, kite the hag around as much as you can, and again, it'll eventually take care of itself. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the future.